Hello YouTube! Welcome to my very first Q&A. I'd like to thank you for watching for as long as you have, and I hope that answering some of your questions will let you guys know that I really do appreciate it. And maybe we can unveil some of the mystery about this strange person known as Loafy. I know I'm excited. I have been reviewing some of your questions, and a lot of them are very interesting, but I ran out of printer paper, so I'm going to just be sitting here and reading them straight off the screen. There were some questions that I did retrieve off of Facebook that I thought were lost to me, so I thought that was a good use of the remaining toner that I had left. So, we're going to start with some of the Facebook questions. These are some of the oldest ones that didn't actually make it to a permanent home. They're very hard to track down again once I seemingly lost them. So, here we go. Question number 1. First question comes from my good buddy, Paul Papa Pickett, over at Deadly Sins. Who is my favorite comic book hero and villain? That's a tough one. Let's see here. Comic book villain. The villain will probably be easier to start off with. Favorite comic book villain, and this is kind of a stretch. There was a Batman character who was like obsessed with time. I'm gonna have to look up his name, but he was like the Clockmaster or something like that. But I thought that guy was just a very intriguing comic book villain. He just basically had everything, the time of everything memorized. So he's like, oh, Batman, it takes you this many seconds to throw a punch, but it only takes me this many seconds to dodge. I thought that guy was kind of cool. Favorite comic book hero? I mean, as of late, I think Deadpool is kind of the coolest. I mean, he's just so fucking awesome in every way. Logan Paul Decker is question number 2. Do you or did you ever play any instruments? Okay. Yeah, I did. When I was in, I think, elementary school, I started learning how to play the clarinet. And then I moved on to middle school, where the band had a bassoon. It was kind of a cool-looking instrument to me. I didn't know how difficult it would be to play it. If you guys are wondering, it's extremely difficult to play it. But the thing is, they're terribly expensive. They're like 15 grand for a single one. Just wasn't a reality. Question number 3 by Ryan Gruber. Are you a member of the Mafia? I mean, do you really think I got the gumption to be in the Mafia? It would be nice. I mean, I'd like some of the benefits, but I'm kind of a moral person. Number 4, Adam Lassie. By the way, if I fuck up any of your names, I'm very sorry. Your favorite hard liquor or cocktail? Alright. So, favorite hard liquor. Hairpink had some really old single malt scotch that I was able to try, and that stuff was fantastic. That McClellan's, oh my goodness, it was just nectar of the gods. Sweet ambrosia. You rarely hear about the kind of liquor that makes you just savor it. I mean, I've never been that kind of person to just take slow sips of vodka or something like that. It grosses me out. Like, most liquors I'm going to have to just do a straight up shot on. Alright, question number 5. Andrew Asen. Andrew Asen. Leno or Letterman? So, I used to think that Letterman was just like the coolest guy around, but he's kind of a shitbag in his personal life, kind of an asshole to work for, from what I hear. And I hear Jay Leno is just awesome, you know, on every facet. It's just, maybe his writers aren't as good. But as a person, I like Leno. Question number 6. Rob Koppel. Whose farts are worse, Wero or Pink? Okay, so it's like the difference between dog shit and cat shit. Like, dog's a bigger animal, but for some reason that cat shit is always just, oh, it stings the nose and fills the house instantly. And Wero farts more, which is even worse, you know. Pink, he'll you know, sneak one by on the down low, and he'll give you that sideways glance to see if you've noticed it yet. So he's definitely a little bit more entertaining and not so brazen about it. Wero, man, you better watch out. Especially if you're his cat. He farts on his cat all the time. But I guess, you know, if she doesn't see it coming by now, she deserves it. Dylan Martin. Are you indeed an Afro-American in disguise? Playing a dude disguised as a dude, playing another dude. Okay, now here's a name I'm really going to butcher, and I'm so sorry, because she's always commenting on my things, and she's just being such a super, super cool fan. Eidnarb Norsbor. Eidnarb Nosbor. Eidnarb Nosbor. What is your favorite hot sauce? In terms of like mass-produced hot sauce, it's gonna be Valentina. Really love this stuff. I guess I just happen to have it on standby near my desk. Probably should be kept somewhere else, but you know, in emergencies. This is the extra hot one, and as you can see, it's got some battle scars, because you can buy one bottle of this for like $1.80, and it'll last you forever, and it is fantastic stuff. The one with the slightly more yellowish, taupe-ish sort of label, that one's a little bit more acceptable for everybody. It's a little bit tastier too. This one's hotter, but I still like the original. Question number 9 from Stephen Malone. I think I missed the cutoff date for the Q&A, but here goes. Ah, lucky you, you didn't. What accomplishment are you most proud of to date? Oh, that's a tough one. Oh gosh, what am I proud of? Honestly, I guess it's you guys. I mean, people seem to like me enough to follow me in some way. Like, it makes a big difference to me, and yeah, it's really tough. Like, I came from a place where I sort of didn't really appreciate what I was about, if that makes any sense. So just knowing that there's some people out there who actually care if I exist or not, I mean, I'm kind of proud of that. Okay, question number 10. Aristotle Sutton. What would you want your last meal to be? Give me something real rich, you know? Because I don't have to live with it for too long, you know, digesting all that stuff. Like, yeah, I guess chocolate. Both ways, you know. Chocolate always seems to help under those really dire circumstances. So if you eat up enough of it, then you'd probably be a little less reluctant to go to your end, especially if you had a ton. You eat a ton of chocolate, well, you just might want to die anyway. Chris Mahood. If you're trapped on an island with a box containing only 2 condoms, a top hat, 3 shot put balls, 2 chopsticks, and 8 bottles of Ipecac, how would you survive? Seriously? Like, I'd probably die. I mean, I know that you can use condoms to do just about everything. I mean, there's a whole YouTube series about it, but they're a little icky. I don't think I could bring myself to use them to contain water. And as for the rest of that shit, well, fucking A. Especially the 8 bottles of Ipecac, you know? It's like, what exactly are you going to do with that? If you catch an animal, you're going to cram it down his neck and expel its stomach contents so you can eat that too? I don't know. I'd die. Question number 12. Andrew Gray. When you don the white overcoat, ah, yes, the white overcoat. Which do you more feel like? A dentist, B, mad scientist, or C, Dr. Nick Riviera? Well, since I'm a charlatan at just about everything in my life, I would say C, Dr. Nick Riviera. Oh, Suzanne! Hi, Suzanne. Suzanne Ray Henderson is asking me how my trip was down to Nevada. It was fantastic. Ivan Brown. Why do you always seem to wear that key around your neck? Ah, this is a good leaving point for this page. That's the last one from the old Facebook. You don't get it that easy. If anybody wants to guess, I'm going to give you the same clue that I give fucking everybody. It's practical that I have it around my neck. So if you really think you want to know the answer, go ahead and ask down below, but I'm not going to answer until somebody gets it right. So good luck. Alright, so we're going to move on to the New Facebook questions. I just put out a post saying that I was going to be wrapping up the Q&A today. So there are a couple of people who've asked questions in the meantime. Let's see what they have to say. Next question on the Facebook post. It comes from Ed Easton Jr., my good buddy Ed Swoggle. How can one find true happiness while suffering severe depression? Yikes, that's a rough one. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I sorta have a lot of problems with you know, motivation and depression and stuff like that. I don't know if Ed knew that, if he was just asking from a strictly objective point of view. But for me, like, I never really feel good about myself or the things I do. So when I help somebody else, it feels really good. I don't do it too often, which is probably why I am, you know, always such a miserable person. But, but yeah, I think the secret to happiness is the connections that you share with other people. Because even if you're not happy with yourself, you can be happy with something that you do for somebody else. You know, even if you're really hurting one day, it does provide at least a little bit of a distraction. I'm sorry, I don't know if that helps, but I certainly don't have all the answers in life, you guys. You probably knew that a long time ago. Kevin Stroop. What is one food item you refuse to eat? Okay, this is an easy one for me. Raisins. Like, raisins in something else makes it absolutely disgusting. But I will say that raisins by themselves are absolutely delicious. Not the white ones. The white ones, they taste really gross. They are little golden demons inside of my food, and they must be exorcised. Davey Owen. Any tips for someone who would like to try super hot peppers? Ooh, super hots. Okay. Best things to line your stomach with, etc. If you do want to try super hots, I would say try cooking with them a little first. Dispense a very small amount into a very large dish. See what it tastes like. And see what kind of kick it's got, because you'll still be able to taste that. As far as best things to line your stomach with, I've heard of fatty foods being really good. Like, you go get a big burger and fries or something, and you just build that as a foundation for what the pepper is going to rest on. It's not going to even come close to taking the pain away, but it's going to make that first 45 minutes or so a lot more tolerable. Like, you won't have to throw up quite as much. So, hope that helps, and good luck if you do decide to try it. Logan Paul Decker. Favorite size dragon dildo? Can you really go with anything but the Leviathan? Okay, and last question from the Twitter version thread of my Facebook. David Garcia Jr. Favorite music for any occasion? Any occasion? That's gonna have to be Electric Swing. I normally listen to a bunch of dark, broody sort of music, especially when I'm in a bad mood. But I couldn't bust that out on very many occasions at all, because I don't want to freak out anybody who might be within earshot. So Electric Swing is absolutely amazing. Alice Francis is my #1 favorite star right now, and she's gorgeous. Other than that, there's the Electric Swing Circus. They have a couple of good tracks out now. I'll leave a link below to see if any of you guys might like it. I love it. If you guys are following me on Facebook, you've probably already seen a couple of posts like that. So let's move on to the next Facebook page, and last Facebook page. Anthony Mishriki. Fight off 100 ducks the size of horses, or 100 horses the size of ducks. Okay. First of all, the concept of a huge duck scares the shit out of me. I mean, you don't want that big bill all up in your face, but a tiny horse? Like, even if I just grabbed a couple of them and ran top speed away from the rest of them, somehow getting away, I would be a millionaire. Who wouldn't want a tiny little horse as a pet? I know I would. It would be amazing. But I suppose if they were all just rabid, you know, chomping at the bit to kick my ass, then I guess it would still have to be the tiny horses, because like the question should be one horse-sized duck or 100 tiny horses, because a whole army of giant ducks, they're gonna kick your ass. I don't care who you are. You could be fucking Neo, and you'd be their bitch. You'd be the duck's bitch. Nick Clem, who is your inspiration or role model? Person, phrase, or philosophy? That's a tough one. Like, I got a lot of role models. Like, I'm a huge fan of science. I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. Bill Nye is very cool. I like Ricky Gervais a lot. These are all people who have a lot of personality, but they still, you know, think every now and then. Robert Campbell also likes to know what the favorite strain of Loafy is, and of course that's Blue Dreams. Alright, Bonnie Davis. What is your favorite food of all time? Also, can I have a hug? Alright, favorite food of all time. Like I said, I think this is going to come up a bunch. That is going to either be like pho, you know, the Vietnamese beef noodle soup, lovely stuff, or hot wings. I love myself some hot wings if I got a nice beer to go along with it. And you want a hug? Okay, here it comes. Okay, we go like this or like this? Like this? Okay, here it comes. Oh, yeah. Give me some sugar. Jeff Cordell asks, why do you love us so? I do love you guys. So I love you guys for every reason you could possibly imagine. You guys have sent me things. I never thought anybody would do that. Really happy to have you guys. I hope I'm not getting too mushy. Kenyon Loven asks, any more collabs with Reckless Eating in the near future? There's nothing planned. We have a great deal of landmass between the two of our respective groups. So, yeah, nothing planned just yet. I think they might be at next year's VidCon, but my way was graciously paid for last time, so I don't know if something like that can actually happen again. I'm very grateful for the free ride that I got last time, so thank you very much, Cult Move, for making that happen. You make dreams come true. Okay, Bob Eats asks, boobs, ass, or legs? I mean, you need them all. If I saw any one of them by themselves, I'd be very scared. Gabriel Dugas asks, do you have any advices for someone who would want to start doing food reviews / challenges on YouTube? I mean, know your strengths and weaknesses, I guess. As you guys know, I'm sort of the pukey guy. Like, there's no way I can compete with either Pink or Wero in either of their strengths. Pink has a really good way of dealing with volume, and Wero can chug a beer like nobody's business. They tend not to like the spicy things, though. As you guys might have seen in some of my videos, I have eaten some pretty hot super hots in the past, and those guys don't even want to touch them, so I think that's probably my strength. I can eat the hot stuff, and it's still kind of entertaining to watch, so that's kind of my thing, I guess. The hard part is I gotta get my hands on super hots every now and then so I can try to film a new episode of it, and let me tell you, that's not an easy thing. But for the people who have sent me super hots in the past, you are the best. I really appreciate all the effort. Adam WWC Wood, what would you do if not doing YouTube? Well, I mean, sorta trying to find my place in the world still. I'm a very, very awkward person. I have a lot of ideas when it comes to things like little comedy bits and jokes and stuff. I've got a ton written down. And I've been thinking that maybe I should try doing them on stage as like a comedy routine. But lately it's been kind of more of a question as to whether or not I should do them on YouTube. Because I have a really big audience right now. Thanks to Cult Moo and Reckless Eating, I get subs, new subs every day. I think I have a lot of good ideas that I could translate a little bit easier onto YouTube than like a stage performance. So if you guys think that's a good idea, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I'm going to actually try to do 1 or 2 of them, and maybe you can see what they're like and decide whether or not I should continue doing them. Next question comes from Thaxton. My good buddy Don, very first picture I saw of him, he had like this Snorlax necklace, and I'm like, yeah, dude, we are kindred spirits. Would you do deep-fried sea creatures? Deep-fried sea creatures? They're some of the tastiest stuff out there. Especially crustaceans and mollusks. Like, sure. I'd love some deep-fried sea creatures. There are more diverse life forms in the sea than on land, so I would like to know which of the sea creatures, but I'd still try it. Big meat items like shark or eel, I don't know. Like, I've never really tried those. Some of them can get kind of expensive. But yeah, I think that would be a great episode of Deep Fried What. We would just sort of have to, you know, rein in the possibilities. Okay, Christian Cochran. That retching you do sounds positively awful. How does it feel as you are doing it? If it sounds that bad, I can only imagine how horrible it must feel. Now, that doesn't mean it's not funny as hell, but it's still got to suck. Okay, so, questions about my retching. I think, yeah, it doesn't really hurt terribly, unless I have no liquids in me, but some foods are just so awful. They get into my mouth, and then I just can't stop heaving until I get it out. But of course, I still want to try to get it down, you know? It's like, at least in the beginning, it's like I'm here with Cult Moo, and I was, you know, of course, maybe that gives me a little bit of butterflies in the stomach on top of that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just have, like, I'm a tall dude, so it's got to come up a long way. maybe that's the difference, you know. It's like it doesn't come out immediately, but no, it doesn't really hurt. Don't worry about me. I'll be perfectly fine as soon as I get the demon out of my stomach, whatever it was. Whatever horrible thing those guys decide to put in me. Last question on this Facebook page. We've made it. Trindade Fiera Patrick. Would you rather have no arm or no leg? Oh, dude. That's a rough one. Like, one of my favorite activities in life is juggling. Actually, just been kept up at nights as to the prospect of, like, losing a hand or something. Or, like, losing a foot. Because you can't get good at juggling if you can't move your feet, you know? And you can't be good at juggling unless you have both your hands. I guess I would still rather lose a leg. I mean, worst case scenario, I still need video games to brighten my day. Because if I lost one of my hands and I was trying to pwn up some noob on Counter-Strike, well then, you know, sucks to be me. I would have to learn how to do it with one hand, and that just sounds like too much work.